everyone! A while back I did a video on 5 obscure Disney movies that deserve your love, or something like that. And today I'm gonna give you 5 overlooked Disney movies, because they're not quite as obscure, but they don't get enough attention, or as much attention as I think they deserve, because they're great and we should talk about them more. The first one on the list is Atlantis: The Lost Empire from 2001. This is the story of Milo Tatch, a super nerdy linguist. He thinks he's figured out the location of Atlantis, so he joins an expedition there, or he kind of guides them because they don't know where they're going. He's the one who can read this stuff. I just want to say that this movie has definitely like one of the best collections of characters that I've ever seen in any Disney movie. This expedition, like the team consists of all these like crazy, sassy, gross, weird characters, and they all have, you know, their different ambitions and different reasons for going on the expedition. Wow. And you really see like their personalities really shine through, and you see that like the choices they make are based on who they are. And I love when you can see, you know, the characters, you can see their personalities really clearly, and they're not just, you know, filler characters. Like they actually add something to the story and they add something to the movie. And Atlantis has done this really well. I know a lot of people consider this movie boring, but I think it's a beautiful story, and you know, people going to a whole new place unlike anything, unlike the world they're used to, right? And they're exploring a new kind of people and a new way of life. I mean, the idea that there is other things in this world that we don't know and that we still have to explore, that's super interesting. It's a really fun storyline, and I think it's great. And also the fact that Milo gets to do what he's really passionate about, and he gets to, you know, use his geekiness and, you know, his like special knowledge that not a lot of people have. He gets to actually use that and, you know, live his passion. That's great. It's a really enjoyable watch, I think. The second movie is Meet the Robinsons from 2007. The movie starts with a baby being left on the steps of an orphanage, and later we find out that this baby is Louis. We're really introduced to his story when he's a bit older. He's also a super neat, geeky guy actually, and he loves to make inventions, but at the same time, his kind of weird / dangerous contraptions, a lot of the time they just scare away potential adoptive parents, so he's really struggling because he really wants to be adopted. But he's reaching the age where adoption is less likely, so he's kind of stressing out, and he wants to find his real mom because he thinks that if he can just find her, he'll be a lot happier and he'll be with someone who actually wanted him, because he feels really unwanted. So he invents the memory scanner, which scans your brain for memories, and then he thinks that he can go back and see what his mom's face looks like, because obviously he has seen her, but he was a baby, he doesn't remember. He takes the memory scanner to the school's science fair, and this movie's villain, who is called the bowler hat guy, he messes with his invention, so it messes it up completely, actually destroys the whole science fair. At the science fair, Louis met a guy called Wilbur Robinson, who claims to be like a time-traveling cop. He asks Louis for help because the bowler hat guy, again, has stolen a time machine from him and he needs help to get it back. He insists that Louis fixes the memory scanner, but Louis is like, no, I'm a failure, I can't do anything. So to convince him that he needs to do this and it's important and that he's telling the truth, Wilbur takes him to the future, and he gets to see all these cool things. Like, the future is such a cool place with all these inventions, and from there the movie just gets weirder and weirder. It involves, among other things, a T-Rex, house robots, singing frogs, and crazy family members. Wow, I am a TV presenter now. I know this movie didn't do very well money-wise, and to be honest, when I saw the posters, I was like, ugh, that looks lame, I'm not gonna watch that. But when I did watch it, it instantly became one of my favorites. Just like that, I was like, yes, love this movie, I love the message. It's basically about how you can literally come from nothing, and if you just believe in yourself and you work hard, you can get to the top. And it actually uses a part of a Walt Disney quote throughout the movie, and I love that. It's like a bonus little Easter egg for us nerds. Number 3 is Sword in the Stone from 1963. It's not as unknown as the other movies. Well, I mean, none of these are like super unknown, but most of the time when I ask people about this movie, or like when I refer to something, they haven't seen it, and I'm shocked. Like, this is one of the first Disney movies that I remember seeing as a child, and I don't know, it's just so nice, and it's from a really like beautiful time of Disney. Like, I mean, basically this is like budget drawings and all this, but it's, I don't know, I just think it's so pretty. Anyway, the movie's about how the King of England dies and he leaves behind no heir, so there's no one, you know, to take over the throne, risking for the country to just break out in war, and then the sword in the stone, or the sword, like a sword magically appears into a stone with the like inscription that whoever pulls the the stone. The sword out of the stone becomes the King of England, or has the right to the throne. Then, years later, because no one can pull the sword out and it kind of just gets forgotten about, an orphan boy named Arthur, like, kind of stumbles into the house of a wizard called Merlin, and his the talking owl of our communities. He's so fun. I love him. He's like such a little, you know, ball of sarcasm, and I freaking love it. So Merlin knows that the boy has a big future ahead of him, so he starts focusing on getting him a proper education. At the same time, his guardian starts preparing him to become a squire, because an orphan boy at these times did not have any choice, like they didn't have any, you know, career prospects. He just had to do whatever, you know, they could find for him to do. So I would say that Merlin uses some proper, you know, controversial teaching methods for, you know, teaching him all these different things, like, oh, we're gonna learn physics, so I'm gonna turn you into a fish and you'll almost get eaten and stuff like that. Turns him into a bird, and he falls into the chimney of Madame Mim. Madame Mim is also like obscure, no one's heard of her, but she is such a funny like Disney villain because she's so sassy and she's so like, I love everything that has to do with death. Like, she is so funny. I like her. I don't like what she stands for, but you know, she's a Disney villain. It's okay. But yeah, so he falls into her house and she challenges Merlin for a wizard duel. Or is it him that challenges her? I don't remember. But obviously she doesn't want to let the boy go, so they get into this big like wizard fight with magic and stuff. But yeah, I am gonna stop there because I'm not gonna tell you the whole movie. But there are loads of fun scenes in that movie, and there's lots of emotional parts as well. Everyone needs to watch this movie. I'm still like shook that people, like, this is one of those people, like, movies that everyone's watched. The next movie, fourth movie, is Oliver and Company from 1988. First of all, I love the drawing style from this time. The drawing style from the 70s and the 80s, Disney movies, obviously. That's my, like, those are my favorite. They're so pretty. But yeah, the movie starts on 5th Avenue in New York City. We meet Oliver, who's a ginger little kitten, and he's sitting in a box full of kittens for free, so people can just, you know, adopt a kitten. Oliver doesn't get chosen for whatever reason. He's super cute. I don't know why no one picks him. I mean, I would, but I would just take the whole box and be like, I'm a kitten mom now. But yeah, no one takes him, so he's just lost on his own in the city, and he obviously doesn't know how to do anything because he's a kitten. He doesn't have any life experience at all. Then he bumps into Dodger, who has a lot of life experience, and he helps Oliver steal some like sausages from this hot dog stand. And then Dodger takes them all, like he doesn't even share with Oliver. So Oliver runs after, like he follows him back to his home, where he lives with Fagin, who is a like thief. Like, he is a good person, but he's a thief. He is just one of those people who's messed up badly. But he has this big group of dogs, all very different dogs, very different personalities, different characteristics, but it's very entertaining because there's a lot of things going on there. Then we learn that Fagin has borrowed money from this like crazy loan shark guy, Sykes, who's a terrible guy. Sykes shows up and gives Fagin 3 days to pay him back, or he's basically gonna kill him. He obviously doesn't say that, but we know. We know what's up. The dogs help Fagin like steal and stuff so he can pawn things off and get money. So the next day, obviously they're like, we need money today, guys. We need like $3,000, come on. So the dogs stop like a limo and they try to, you know, steal it, but they fail. But Oliver ends up in the back seat with Jenny. It's her parents' limo, and obviously she's pretty rich, and she adopts him. So she takes Oliver back to her house, and the dogs are like, oh, he's been kidnapped. So they go back and they steal him back, and Oliver is super confused. He's like, why did you take me from when I had a safe home? And the dogs are obviously a bit offended that they're like, you have a home with us? Like, what? This is your home. And he's like, oh, but I was happy with Jenny. But Fagin sees that he got a new collar, and he's like, ooh, these people are rich. So like, I'm gonna get the money. So he sends like a ransom letter, and then Jenny gets it, obviously, and she's like, oh no. So she takes her piggy bank and goes to try and get him back. Gonna stop there, got a little bit carried away. But this movie is super fun. It's super cute, and it has a lot of animals in it, which is lovely. All that, like, the animals have their own personalities and their own, you know, crazy temperaments and all this. Like, it's super entertaining. And also, Dodger being voiced by Billy Joel also helps. The fifth and last movie is Brother Bear from 2003. This movie is very close to my heart. Like, the people who know me really well know why, but it's such a beautiful movie and I love it so much. So the movie is about three brothers, Sitka, Denahi, and Kenai, living in an Inuit community. Their oldest brother, Sitka, is killed in an accident, and Kenai blames a bear for it, so he goes and kills the bear. for which the spirits, this is a very spiritual community kind of thing, and the spirits get really angry, they turn Kenai into a bear, and to become human again, he needs to go to the mountain where the northern lights touch the earth. So they did this to teach him a lesson, because he's kind of messed with life, like he's taken a life where he shouldn't have. So as he's been turned into an animal, which obviously is a super shocking and stressful situation for him, because he has to learn how to live all over because he doesn't know how to be a bear. But it obviously learns a lot about the balance of nature and how animals live in general and how everyone belongs somewhere, and he's gonna learn in a very hard way that the bear he killed had a family. So on his journey to the mountain, he meets Coda, who is a bear cub who's on his own. He's on the way to the salmon run where like loads of bears live and they hang out and stuff, and they decide to, you know, travel together because Coda is all alone. He's a child, like he needs help, and Kenai needs help mostly. In the meantime, Kenai's other brother, Denahi, thinks that when Kenai went to kill the bear killed him, because when Denahi, you know, got to the place, he could only see a bear, which obviously was Kenai, but he didn't know that. So he thinks that the bear killed him, so he is on his way to kill the bear, which is Kenai. So obviously he has a lesson to learn too, and being chased by your brother who's trying to kill you is obviously kind of traumatizing for Kenai as well. So yeah, very exciting story, which I'm not gonna reveal any more of, but this movie also has two of the best supporting characters in Disney or movie history in general. The two like Moose brothers, Rut and Took. They are so funny. They're like so dumb, but it's hilarious. Like they have so many funny things they're saying and they're going around doing and all this, and they're also in Brother Bear 2, which is one of the few sequels that I actually like, and I mean they're super funny. It's a beautiful story as well. It has a lot of meaning, and it's a good combination of serious and, you know, respecting life and also a lot of humor. I think this movie is great and it does not get enough attention. Alright, so that was my list of 5 overlooked Disney movies. Which one of these is your favorite, or have you even seen them? Or am I just really proving a point here? Anyway, which Disney movie do you think really deserves a lot more attention than it's getting? I'm gonna leave you with that, and I shall see you next Friday. Keep up the good vibes. Bye!